now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PUCL Podcast.
It's PUCL! PUCL! It's PUCL! PUCL! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PUCL! PUCL. Welcome to another episode of the PUCL Podcast. I am your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my wonderful co-host. We've got the one and only Dr. Shamu.
Hello, hello.
And we've got the wonderful Sharkfinningan.
Hello.
Happy New Year's to everyone, and welcome to the PUCL Podcast. PUCL, of course, standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name we came up with in 2007. We talk everything here, Pokemon, from the trading card game to the video game to everything in between. We just came off our week hiatus due to the holidays, and I'm more than happy to be back. I'm actually pretty pumped. This has been like one of the more restful vacations I've ever taken in terms of both like PUCL work. I don't actually remember the last time I took vacation from my, real job, and then also took a vacation from PUCL. And because like that did happen, they both coincided this year because of the holidays. And I have no idea. Like this is the most rested I've ever been as a person, and it's insane because like usually I have to stretch for like what have you been doing in Pokemon stuff recently, and like it's usually just like one thing I've been futzing around with, but I've been doing like a ton of things. It's just
we've got one thing. The title of the episode tells us one thing that's been
that's one big giant thing. That's a whole topic and a half.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, yeah, we did do the regional, which was very fun, which we'll talk about later. But I mean, outside of that, like I mean, just like the last week since like the holidays, I've played. I mean, I've been keeping up with the TCG and just like practicing. I bought some cards to build a couple new decks. Now that the regional's over, I can just play around with different decks. Because I don't plan on going to an event until like the end of March or something like that now. And so I can just kind of futz around with different decks, have some fun with it, and go to locals and just go beat up on people with stupid decks. But on top of that, I also have just like, I've been playing VGC and getting into that on cart, which has been a lot of fun, actually. This meta makes no sense to me still. And,
part of me wants to, but part of me is also like, I can't really wrap my head around it, and I just don't know if
it is like, difficult right now. I think I don't know if it's because things haven't settled or what, but
it feels fun because you can do whatever you want, but also at the same time, I don't like that I can do whatever I want because it feels like that's not the correct way that's not the most optimal thing, or even like close to a good way to play in a way.
I don't even know if there's anything optimal.
And that's it. Yeah, I don't know. And that's nice. And I'm not saying it's like a bad thing. It's kind of nice because that means you have a lot of freedom, a lot of creativity and stuff. But like, it's hard to like make something because then you just make something completely bad against random teams, and it just feels bad when it's like it might be actually a good team, but you just die to all the random stuff that exists out there.
Oh yeah. No,
it's just like it's one of those things that it can just feel so bad and crushing.
Yeah. I mean, it may be good just to try it on Showdown Ladder, just to try out if you're really wanting to experiment with something fun and different, and then
there's ways to experiment stuff out
before you go commit resources.
I mean, rental teams are also out there, which is making it kind of pretty accessible. Which makes it pretty accessible. I don't know. I just had a lot of fun with it. I mean, in a world where Farigiraf is like probably like a C tier pick, which means it's definitely viable in niche situations. I really like it because I think Farigiraf is the best way to prevent Trick Room in the game right now, or like in the meta, which is kind of insane.
Oh, with the armor tail, it stops priority.
So what it is that what happens is like your number one taunt user is Murkrow right now, right? And so the problem because it gets Prankster taunt, and you've got Grimmsnarl doing similar things occasionally.
Oh, so you're just using it to stop the taunt on
So one of the best Trick Room users in the game right now is Indeedee, female, which is setting Psychic Terrain as it comes out. And when it sets the Psychic Terrain, you can't taunt it with Prankster, which prevents you from being able to stop the Trick Room that way. But you can do it with Farigiraf, because is that how it's pronounced, Farigiraf? It's so close to Refrigerator.
It's pretty much,
And
it's like a refrigerator.
Yeah. But Farigiraf, it also gets access to Trick Room, but it's actually pretty fast. And it gets Imprison, which is a move that nobody ever uses.
So you just beat it with both of those, and you just lock the Trick Room.
Yeah, you just lock Trick Room out of being used.
I was kind of more curious, are you going to do a Trick Room on top of the Trick Room to, like, reverse it?
You could do that. People used to do that.
Stop?
That
it works either way.
And you could... And, yeah, this is a little bulkier answer to things like back in early Sword and Shield, you had Chandelure and Gengar with Focus Sash to do that Imprison Trick Room shenanigan. But I think Farigiraf is actually it's honestly like a little it's a fun pick just to kind of lock down Trick Room.
It's also a little bit better.
Armarouge and Indeedee is a big threat in the meta. It's something you have to at least be cognizant of.
A lot of people are using Indeedee. I'm very aware.
Indeedee does Indeedee things. It's just not. I mean, it's good, but not as good as dominant. Like where you really had to have a follow me user in the format. You don't, but it's if you need one, it's a very good one.
Honestly, even just looking at Farigiraf, it's just like it's kind of scary.
Oh, and it's not terrible.
HP, 110 special attack is
it's not a terrible Pokemon. On top of that, like that's why I think it's exciting. Because you can do more than just the Imprison Trick Room shenanigans, because you can get Stab Psychic out of it, and you can run Terra Blast with some Terra type of your choice.
Not even that. It's good utility. It gets Helping Hand, too. You can do, like, the Helping Hand, other stuff, like...
I wouldn't use... but you could...
You don't I'm saying you can. You don't have to.
If you're going to go full support, I think you could probably do something different instead of Farigiraf.
Oh, probably. But I'm just looking at this move pool, and, like, whenever I look at a move pool, I go, what are the notable things? And that was one of them I saw was just, like, Helping Hand for VGC.
But
got some other fun little things like Power Swap, Guard Swap you might be able to mess around with. But.
Yeah. The other fringe thing. So I've been doing a lot of things on my off time. It's been kind of insane. But the other thing I did is I started playing Pokemon Crystal again, just for fun.
Hey!
Because it's been because like I'm doing that Living Dex thing like very slowly. I haven't even finished the Gen 1 yet. I've got a few things left to do, but the Gen 2 one. I wanted to get a start on it and just play it, and so I decided to pick up Crystal because you can get. It's the only game outside of Scarlet and Violet, I think, where you can get early game Fan P. I should say that correctly.
Yeah, that would be right.
And that is solely what the decision is based on. Is early game Fan P.
What games can you actually even get Fan P in anymore? Like because I don't think I've ever really used one.
I think I looked this up recently.
I'm looking into it right now myself, actually. I'm curious.
I looked this up. I don't think it's been accessible in a game. Well, it wasn't in Gen 8. It didn't exist in Gen 8 outside of Diamond and Pearl.
Nope, we missed it. And we missed it so much, we gave it 3 forms.
I also don't think it made it into Alola, so it wasn't in Gen 7. And then Gen 6, I think it only existed in Oraz, which is a remake, and the only way to get it in that is through the Safari Zone, I think.
It wasn't, X and Y had it Friend Safari.
Yeah, that doesn't
really... It was definitely post-game.
Yeah, it was
post-game. That half counts. Yeah. No.
Yeah. It doesn't. I don't think it counts.
And it's a swarm. It's a swarm back in Diamond and Pearl.
No, the only way to really get it was, Gen 5 had a trade in Nimbasa, but that's definitely not early.
No.
That's a late game thing. There's a swarm.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the only game you could really in-game that or Safari Zone and Ruby Sapphire.
Early game Fan P only exists in Crystal and Scarlet and Violet. Like
that's the answer. That's the answer there.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's nuts. It's nuts. But yeah, these are the fun little things that I've been playing with. And I mean, I've done a lot. I was really surprised. I was just like, man, I've just like picked it up when there's no stress to just play around and do all the different things. But have you guys been up to anything cool in the past couple of weeks? I mean, I saw you guys a couple weeks ago, but
yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't think it's been anything other than just Arlington. Nothing. I think everything I've been doing lately has been not Pokemon related. So.
Yeah.
I've been helping coordinating a lot because currently this weekend is the first run of the Cinder Race.
That's true.
Battle, and that
that
literally dropped yesterday. So I was coordinating out, trying to get everyone at least as prepared as we could. And
I need to do that.
We were able to knock it out pretty quickly and efficiently. We figured out a couple of good strategies for that.
Yeah, Slowbro is a very simple,
like it's
simple thing to, yeah.
You should send me the set.
Slowbro and I would say Armarouge are my 2 personal picks for this.
Spathra can work in a team setup, but that's about it.
You
can't solo with a Spathra.
Can you send me the sets for this so I can get it set up? Because I haven't done this.
I have something pinned out in training raids. But
perfect! Even better.
Yeah, come to the Discord. We can tell it as we are working through and evolving this stuff. Because I've been trying. There's one Pokemon I want to use for this. I'll say this, which is Bruxish, just as like a support. Yeah. But I've yet to get it to work online, and that's my problem because everyone's dumb online. But
I'm here.
I want it to work because it's the only one of 2 Pokemon that get Reflect and Chilling Water and resist fire and firefighting.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way to go is special, though. There's no... Physical is just too rough, because it bulks up at the very beginning of the fight, and then it bulks up multiple times later on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, the way to go is just special.
Yeah, no, go special.
Because that's one thing I was doing a little bit of test.
But preferably using chilly water to just...
Yeah, you just spam chilling water to
Well,
yeah.
The good news is we've talked about this before, after the event's already over, so...
But, if in the news we'll talk about this... Yeah, they run it twice.
Are they running it twice? When's the next one?
It'll be 2 weeks from this weekend.
Okay.
Should we head over to the news to talk about this?
Yeah, that's a good segue.
Where it is.
That's a good segue.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go to the news. Let's cue that epic music.
Live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
Welcome to the news. We've got a few things to talk about, and I'll let you start it off, Shannon, because there's no general news to talk about.
Yeah, no, it's been pretty dead overall. But yeah, no, as we were kind of talking about before, the Cinderace raid is going on, or was going on. It ended essentially the day you're hearing this, probably the last day, or it's already ended by now. But it will come back the 13th through the 15th of January. So there'll be a second time, just like the Charizard. They're doing 2 runs of these.
I hope they keep these up, and they're every 2 weeks we just get something. I just hope this keeps going.
It's gonna happen. They've just kind of revealed what they're doing with the Cinderace. Because now they did Charizard, they're gonna do Cinderace, Sobble, Grookey. That's what they're next. I would say their next 2 are the other 2 starters, which is nice. I'm glad that we can catch the starters in a different ball now.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
That helps me for my collections.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know, there's several people on our Discord that are we're coordinating out who's getting what, so that way they can breed and start trading them. I know I got mine in a Premier because that's the ball I like.
Totally. Mm-hmm. I will say this one is actually harder than the Charizard. You can't just, there are solo strats, and Sigma did make a video on it that will probably be live by the time you're hearing this. We'll see.
If not, come on the Discord and we can share that with y'all.
Yeah, it should be live by the time the show's out. Because we're recording on a Friday, it should be up. I actually really enjoy this though, and how hard they're making them. This is what I wanted in Sword and Shield. This is what I wanted.
I'm a little happy, a little upset, but I'm you know what? This is what people wanted. This is kind of what I wanted. Something actually a challenge, so I'll accept it.
No, I
wanted something soloable, but I'm and it is just I just don't have the patience to sit there for 20 minutes with a Slowbro.
What I really like having is that you do have you can make raid mons, mons that are specific to helping you beat these, and which is so cool as a third avenue to enjoy the game, and build competitive Pokemon, right? We might not have OU, but on cart because of the timer issue, but we can definitely go ahead and have another reason to go build a competitive Pokemon outside of VGC. And I really, really like having this. I don't know, this brought me so much joy because I can just have a box full of Pokemon, one at a time too. You don't have to do a whole team. It's one Pokemon typically that you need to make. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't get enough of it. Moving on from Cinderace, we got the announcement since VGC is coming back for regionals that VGC is only going to require, I'm going to say only because TCG is at 500 points, requires 300 points for Masters in the US to go to Worlds, which is insane because they have the same point distribution as TCG in terms of who gets to go and who's playing. And if you already look at like the half a season, or less than half a season, I would say, that TCG has had for this current season, there are so many players that are already at 300 points. I think there's something like 16 or some in TCG. It's just an incredibly low bar.
Yeah, it's very, very low for sure right now. I think we were looking at that for definitely. You're definitely going to want to have less numbers than what you had for Worlds this past year, just because that one had a lot of backlog. Mm-hmm. But still, you want to get about 100 or so into.
Yeah, it was insane.
500 threshold is going to maybe get you like 30 to 50.
Well, it doesn't help that there's no locals right now either, especially for TCG.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Because if you don't have locals, you can't go pick up a bunch of these championship points. Because like every 3 months, you had like the opportunity to get something so points from just going to, and that no longer because of the way they stuff, which is dumb.
Yeah, VGD is like, yeah, win a regional, cool. For TCG now, you have to win like 2 regionals or just do really well in a lot of the tournaments.
I think the biggest issue is Piper Lapine. Is that how you say it? But Piper won 2. She has attended 2 regionals so far. She has won both of them. She is a very good TCG player.
And she's not even able to go to Worlds.
Yeah, she's not qualified for Worlds. Yeah, she's not qualified for Worlds because that's only 400 points and you need 500 to go, which is insane.
I do kind of wish the regional wins were a bit more, but I get why they're also not like.
I think at minimum they either should drop it to 400. So if you win both, you can go. Or you increase the payout to 250.
Yeah, I think they need to rebalance this points, and I think there was also like a tweet or something.
No, there was a tweet when they announced the VGC is going
that
to
they're going to look into the
TCG
point requirement.
Yep.
Yeah, I think 500's a fine number in a way, but not with the current payouts. You know, like 300 for VG with like half the regionals already kind of being, you've lost half the events you can get video game points for essentially. You know. You win one, you do well in the rest, you're fine. I think somewhat.
All right. Well, let's move on. We got Pokemon Unite. Some minor news there.
Yep. Dragapult is live. I have not played it at all, but I know it's live now. I think the whole gimmick is that it has a Unite move that is fast recharge, but doesn't hit as hard. It's like a weird, from what I've heard people saying in the Discord, it's just like, it's stronger than a normal move, weaker than Unite, but you get to use it more often than a Unite move. So it's like one of those, kind of.
Just to be able to just get consistent, like a little boost of damage, but not like too much that it's like other Unite.
I think it's an all-rounder, but I could be wrong.
I would imagine.
No, it's an ranged attacker.
Okay.
My bad.
Cool.
So, yeah.
It makes sense it's ranged.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to Pokemon Go. Everybody's favorite. So go ahead, Shark, kick us off.
All right. So we've got a New Year's event going on, starting on New Year's Eve, running through the 4th from 8 to 8 p.m. local time. Pikachu has a new top hat. The Hoot Hoot from last year with the nice golden top hat can evolve now into Noctowl, which is a decent mon for the Go regional stuff. So that would be a worthwhile try to pick up if you can get a good one. Then you can just flex on people as you beat them down with Noctowl with the top hat. So that's fun. You also have half egg distance during this event as well. And then they've increased the postcard storage to 350. So that means it's a lot easier to kind of just pin. So you have a little more storage to pin and actually some of the stuff you're trying to get the Pavilion. At least makes it so you don't have to completely clean that out so often. I probably should start to do that myself soon, but I haven't had to yet, so we'll see.
All right. Also, Chespin Community Day is coming this weekend, January 7th, from 2 to 5 o'clock local time, with 2 times candy and a quarter egg distance, which is kind of exciting because the next round of stars finally.
Finally, yeah. We hopefully maybe get a Lola one the back half.
All right. Well, we're going to go to the TCG, and we'll let you grab the first one, Shark.
All right. So we've received confirmation that rotation will happen April 14th for the West, with rotation happening on TCG Live March 30th, which is the same day as the Scarlet Violet.
Exactly. Fun. No more Scoop Up Net. Thank God.
Woo! Still got to deal with shady dealings with Scoop Up Net for 3 more months, so yay.
Yeah.
Until it's reprinted.
And the next tournament I go to, I hope to God they're not. I think honestly, Scoop Up Net is my least favorite card that ever came out. of Pokemon right now. Like, Scoop Up Net's causing so many issues. But, Shamu, it looks like there's some promos.
They opened a new giveaway for people in the US, the UK, and Canada. So if you sign up through there's a sign up you can go to enter for, essentially it's the Illustrator contest. The 3 winners of that got made into cards. We have a chance to get those if you win the giveaway. And then when you'll get a code to use on Pokemon Center. And if you buy like $30 or more, you'll get the pack, have your promo code. Kind of like what they did with like the Charizard and the Bidoof and whatever in the past. It's just a new thing. Yeah, it's just like a giveaway for a code that can get you the promos.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's going for.
I wish I had looked that up before I went and made my little purchase at the...
The little ASMR thing they did, yeah. That was a weird thing. They did like an ASMR stream that if you watch for 15 minutes, you got a $10 off coupon. And it's like, what?
Yeah, just flat out $10. I bought 2 sitting cuties, got free shipping, and only paid like $12.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah, like, just for sitting 15 minutes of ASMR, which is actually, it was just cute, and it was cute little, like, Bulbasaur and Charmander.
It was like the Glimwood Tangle thing, but less detailed.
I liked it. I saw it. I caught a of it.
But it wasn't as boring to watch, I'll say that.
No, it was much better. Because Glimwood Tangle had nothing happen in it except for the Galarian Ponytail run through for 5 seconds.
Yeah. This one's like, oh, Bulbasaur sleeping. Oh, Bulbasaur wakes up. Oh, Bulbasaur saves Hoppip. Oh, Celebi shows up. And then Bulbasaur go back to sleep.
All right. Well, let's end this segment by going over Puckle's Poke prediction. Will the inevitable DLC add another Tauros variant? Do you think it would go green like the starters or go electric like the Johto Legend? I do not think it will add another Tauros variant. I think the 3 we got was already too many.
I don't think we're going to get another form.
No, I don't think we will do it. We already have 3. We're not going to get a 4th.
I don't. If we had 1, I could see a reason that we might get 2 more throughout the DLCs, but we got 3 already.
Mm-hmm. It's the most pointless thing, too. I really just get...
It's like, I'd rather have those as version exclusive than no normal fighting one, you know? I'd rather just have those 2 instead of all 3.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to kick it on over to Puckle's Poke Quiz, where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon.
Oh, hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark from the Dunsparce Gang, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
Thank you for that introduction. We're going to jump right into it. Our first question this week is going to come from Sleeve. How many episodes to the nearest 100? So you're just going to round to 100. Are there between Ash's Butterfree's physical appearances in the anime, as we know it's coming back very soon in Pokemon Journeys?
Yeah.
So I will also give you a plus or minus 100 on this.
So basically the question is how many episodes of the anime are there?
This is a really
literally the question, because
exactly,
it's basically because Butterfree, between Butterfree leaving and Butterfree returning, Butterfree leaving was still
within the first
probably
100.
Like at most 30. Yeah, I think it's within the first 100 for sure. So I think there's like 1,200 episodes.
Sounds. I'm trying to think. Because
it's either. Because I know we just literally crossed into a new 100 recently from in this Gala.
I'm okay
the Gala
with 1,200.
Championship.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's like 1,100 to 12 or 12 to 13.
I don't know.
So
I don't know exactly. I'm okay with just 12, and then we got round up, round down. It's fine, you know.
Yeah, that would cover the most bases in my opinion. I think we're in that ballpark now. So 1,200
is correct. Right on the money. I don't think it's exactly right on the money, but it's right on the money in terms of the answer. Bye Bye Butterfree was episode 21 of the Pokemon anime. And so right now we're on like episode 1200 and something. I don't even know what. I can't.
We should be. I think we're honestly around 1230.
We're very close to it. So
like
it is very close to 1200 episodes though, between appearances of Ash's Butterfree.
The Japan one is at 1226.
Yes.
Look at that. 1200.
US is still under 1200 by like 9.
Yeah. We are, I believe the US is something like 9 months behind the Japanese anime currently, which makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense. All right. Well, you guys are 1 for 1 there. Our next question is going to come to you from Liger.
Oh boy.
What is the name of the evil team in Pokemon Masters EX?
Oh.
Team Break. Took me a minute. I had to compute for a second, and I'm like, there.
I knew there was going to be a Masters question. I didn't think it was going to be this one. It's Team Break.
Is correct.
They make it pretty clear with their big B black and white.
They're upside down, sideways B glasses.
Exactly.
I have never known this, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I don't
really
need to know. I don't want to know.
Yeah, you really don't.
All right. Well, you guys are 2 for 2. So your next question is your Pokedex entry question, as always. This one is going to come to you from Snackard. It's Pokemon Legends Arceus entry reads, during the season when drift ice approaches the shore, this Pokemon prefers living on the ice, where fewer predators lurk, rather than the land. Its fur retains heat superbly and resists the harsh cold. Who's that Pokemon?
I thought it was Bergmite until I heard fur.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I need to process this.
I assume it's... I was gonna say I assume it's Cubchoo then, but that doesn't seem right. It's like...
So repeat
this
the
is from
entry again?
Pokemon Legends Arceus. During the season when drift ice approaches the shore, this Pokemon, its name is in the entry, prefers living on the ice, where fewer predators lurk, rather than the land. Its fur retains heat superbly and resists harsh cold.
I'm gonna go... If I had my first instinct would probably be Celio. Because there's a couple thoughts why, but I like that. To me, like it, like when you see it in the game, it's always on the shoreline.
Yeah, I said Cubchoo. I don't know if Cubchoo's in the game. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I don't even know if it's in there. Might be thinking of Scarlet and Violet.
No, it shouldn't be. Yeah, exactly. It's like because it like because what Piplup, that line? No.
I could see it being Celio, because also mentioning the Predators thing, I could see that being part of the entry.
Mm-hmm. So don't think it's Spheal. I mean, I think
Spheal would be a different entry. I don't think it would be about, floating.
I think it'd be about being rolly, but being the cute ball that it is. Foreshadowing.
The same thing. What other ice are I can't think of any other ice types in there.
I'm gonna need an answer here, guys.
I'm okay with Celio. I think Celio is probably safest.
Yeah, let's go Celio.
I will give it to you. The answer is actually Spheal.
Oh, okay.
But it's the same evolution line, so I'll give it to you.
And we did say Spheal at the very least.
Yes.
I acknowledge that it could easily have been Spheal. I just expected Spheal to be more rounded.
Well, the second entry from Pokemon Sword says, this Pokemon's body is covered in blubber and impressively round. It's faster for Spheal to roll around than to walk.
Yep.
All right. Well, that gives you guys 2 points. So you guys are 4 for 3. Your next question, you can get up to 2 points here. There are going to be, it looks like, up to, oh my gosh. Well, do you want an anime question or do you want a question about NPCs in Gen 2?
Oh god, those are...
well, maybe not NPCs in Gen 2, but spawns in Gen 2.
Oh, that's not better.
I'm now even more curious about what
All right, we're going with the
means.
Gen 2 one. This is going to be from the Once and Future Gamer. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 possible answers here. If you give me 2 of them, I'll give you 1 point. If you give me 4 of them, I'll give you 2 points. You do have 3 strikes and then you're out. If you get all 7, I guess you can give yourself as a pat on the back. So this is what, like I said, from the Once and Future Gamer. In Generation 2, there are 7 Pokemon who NPCs will call about and tell you are spawning frequently in the game. Also, this is known as the swarming mechanic, and this was the first time it was shown in Pokemon.
Okay.
So what were the 7 swarms?
What are the 7 Pokemon that swarm?
7 Pokemon. Remoraid, Dunsparce.
You need to lock these in, by the way.
Quillfish. I'm locking all 3 of those in.
Yeah. I wouldn't have had any idea. Like
Snubble?
Are you locking that in? That is 4. That gives you the
in.
maximum points that you can get here, which is 2. There are 3 more.
All right.
was
trying
one
to think
of
what
them
the 3 more were.
Voltorb.
I mean, I could just tell you.
No.
We could just all move on.
I don't know. I can't think of anything. I guess about name would be
I'm just gonna give... No. Trying to think what other random Pokemon. Nope, that's from a tree.
Okay, so I'm just going to tell you so that we're not sitting here.
Yeah, go ahead,
the answers are Yanma, Tauros, and
fine.
Meryl. Those are the other. Those are
Yanma,
Tauros, and
Meryl
Meryl.
has
those are
one
the
spawn
2.
in the game, other than like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that's basically what it is that they have like a 1% spawn or 2% spawn normally, and if you get them to actually call, it actually increases for that short amount of time. So
all right. Well, you guys are so far at max points. You guys are at, I believe, 6 for 4. You haven't used the hint yet. Your next question is your base stat question, as always. And this question, we're going to give it because it was cold outside. Now it's 60 degrees for some reason. This is going to be from Zachary. What fully evolved pseudo-legendary has the highest base HP?
Fully evolved pseudo.
Yep.
fully evolved pseudo.
Is it the new one?
So it might be the new one because it's conveniently the only one I can think of that is also cold. It's not Dragapult. It could be Dragonite. It could.
I think Dragonite's base 100.
Yeah,
so it's not Hydreigon.
Metagross.
I think Metagross has like
Metagross.
90 or 100. Hydreigon definitely doesn't. Oh, does it?
It's not Hydreigon.
No, I might be thinking the attack's that high.
No, I don't think it does. It's like or really close to 100. If
I
not
think it is.
100.
I just think it's flat out as Excalibur because I think it's like 117.
Yeah, I can believe it because literally everything else is either at 100 or clearly not 100, like Dragapult.
Because like Goodra might be there, but I think Goodra's still below 100. It's like 90 or 80.
No, it's still below. It's
the defenses are crazy, but not the actual HP, and that's what balances it.
Exactly.
Because so Dragonite, Cheetar, Metagross elements, Garchomp is like 107, but I think Excalibur is still higher than it. I think Excalibur actually hits like 110 or something like that. What's the other pseudo legend in Gen 4? Is there one or is it just Garchomp? Just
Garchomp.
It's one of those things with the one, but like that's the one pseudo legend that's like in the middle of the deck. So I'm like, is that it? Gen 5 had Hydreigon, which isn't. We have Gen 6, which has Goodra, which isn't. 7 has...
Gen 7's
that doesn't. Gen 8 is Dragapult.
Yeah. No, it's close, but again, it's a lot of... It's almost 100. It's not.
So, I got Excalibur, and not just because it's an ice type.
Yeah.
Excalibur is correct, with a base HP of 115. And Garchomp is a base 108 in second place, Tyranitar with 100, and Salamence with 95. When you go to that trivia bar that asks Pokemon base stat questions. All right.
We should just
so that gives you guys the full 8 points. The full 8 points coming right to you.
Wish I had one of those like the New Year's like crackers that you spin around, like the little wooden things. Those.
I mean, it's very exciting. Everything's pretty close in your race to 40. So let me go ahead and do the organize. In first place, we have Linian with 26 points. In second place, we have Seth Vila with 25. In third place, we have Sharkfinningan with 24. In fourth place, we have Dr. Shamu with 21. In fifth, we've got Whimsicott with 17. In sixth, we've got Sublime with 15. In seventh, Mark with 14. Claude with 11. Our Sigma in ninth with 6. Tied with Jushiro. And in 11th, we got Basket with 5. Yay! Tune in next time to see the next exciting development in Puckle's Poke Quiz to see who's going to take home the crown to the first to 40. Until then, we're going to take it on over to the topic. We have another review this week from iTunes from Boy Jeff. Amazing, 5 stars. I just started listening this year, but I've loved it ever since. Well, thank you for that. And if you would like to review us wherever you listen to the podcast, we would really appreciate it. It would help us out. On top of that, you might be able to be right on the show. Well, until then, we're going to kick it on over, guys, to the topic. Welcome to the topic. Our topic today is going to be Arlington Regionals. We're going to recap that all three of us and Seth Bilo all went to Arlington Regionals a couple weeks ago now. That was the weekend before Christmas.
It kind of is.
Which is a horrible time to have a regional, by the way.
A little rough of a time a week right before. Just the flights and all that were not great.
Yeah, it was just a terrible time, I think. I did not enjoy that it was the weekend before Christmas because the entire time I'm like, man, I could be home like doing Christmas stuff. But at the same time, we did have a lot of fun. We had a really good time. Myself, Shamu, and Seth all played in the TCG. I know that Shark also played in the Pokemon Go event. There wasn't a VGC event at this. There was a side event that we were talking about before the show a little bit that I guess we can touch on briefly in terms of just mentioning it. It was interesting to say the least. So I'll just start and then I'll let you guys go. I did horribly. I played 1-3-3, I think is what I went at the end. So 1 win, 3 losses, 3 ties. 2 of those losses were very early on and then I recovered, but a lot of it was, it was my first time at a bigger tournament like this. So I definitely had jitters game 1, combined with the fact that my opponent was slow playing like crazy. Not maliciously, I should add. I do want to make that clear. I don't believe they were maliciously slow playing. But they were playing Reggies, and they'd obviously not played a lot of Pokemon TCG, so they never knew what they wanted to promote.
Reggies is so hard to, it's not a learner deck. Played that at the NAIC with a good little experience, and I just got scarred, the first, side event I did with it. I'm not touching this deck ever again, because it was, it was a mirror match that was a slog, and, if you have, one thing go wrong, your turns take forever to figure out and plan ahead, and it's not a beginner deck, unfortunately. It looks like it is, but it's not.
Well, unfortunately, because I made a couple misplays because I wasn't thinking, my head wasn't in the game, the jitters, you have to shake the rust off and get into the game mode when you're playing the game. I didn't win game 1, and we didn't even finish game 2, which I was about to win, so it would have gone to tie. But because he was taking so long to make his turns, we unfortunately didn't finish. And if you don't finish game 2, it's whoever wins game 1 wins the round. And so unfortunately I went to a loss. And once you get a loss or 2 losses, you kind of get thrown into this really garbage cycle.
If you get 2 losses early on, you get thrown into the jank tank.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what ended up happening.
Which you're fighting against. You could fight against anything. It could be meta, it could be jank, it could be Jolteon, it could be this, it could be that, it could be...
I did fight Jolteon.
You did. That's why I kind of said it. You could fight Inteleon, Hisuian, and Decidueye and get tilted.
I fought a lot of weird stuff because I ended up losing again round 2. And that was in a Lugia mirror. I won't even say that was entirely my fault. That was just a lot of really, really bad draws. Game 1, I lost really bad because my opening hand was all of my Lugia V-Stars and all of my Archeops. It was a crazy hand. And then my top deck, I led 1 Lugia V, and my top deck was the Professor's Research. So my only out was to discard all of my V-Stars, which wouldn't let me play the game then. Very unfortunate in terms of what happened there. So that was bad. And then game 2, I tried to get a little greedy and get a second Archeops, and if I would have just gone for 1 a little bit earlier, I probably would have won the game. So I ended up losing that round. And then, like Shamu said, I got thrown in the Jink Tank. So my next round was against a Zero Aura deck. And once you get to 2 losses, people just really stop caring. They just play slow, and then you just go to a lot of ties, which is what ended up happening. I think the biggest thing I came away with this tournament experience was that I needed to be better about trying to get my opponents to play the game faster. I was really scared to socially be hey, could you speed up the game? Could you play so we could finish? The only game I won was against Jolteon, actually, because I played Jolteon, surprisingly. When I played the Jolteon, they were scooping when we needed the scoop and stuff like that. Other people I'd play would just try to play it out to the end every single time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't scoop even when death was imminent.
There's some people who are just there just to play and not play to win type of thing, and that's
exactly
different mentality,
Exactly. It was unfortunate. I would say out of the 3 ties I had, I know for a fact that 2 of them I was about to win, and then time was called, and then I was 1 turn away from grabbing the final prize or the final 2 prizes. Kind of sucked because I was I would have had 2 more wins there if I would have just asked my opponent to speed the game up, speed up their play. That was kind of unfortunate. The 3 losses the first two were pretty bad, and then the third one happened because I was just drawing like crap, and it was the last game that before I dropped because I was just getting tired and I didn't care.
It happens, yeah. No,
yeah.
I feel you.
I didn't care, and so I was just like, that's fine. We'll just take it. But for a first time playing TCG, it was a lot different than playing like the video game. So I did come away with some experiences, and I understand how to do better now. I kind of hope locals come back in the next couple months so that I can do some more practice like that in a tournament setting outside of, you go to league and you can play, but they're always best of ones, and best of threes are definitely a lot different.
Best of threes are different, just mainly because of the fact that you figure out what they're playing, and then you play around that, and that's what it's meant to be. Best of one is just like, you have to prepare for anything and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't have sideboarding like you do at like other trading card games will have.
Yeah, so you know what you can dump and stuff like that when you're ultra balling or something like that. Exactly.
And it comes down to like, some decks you have to go, okay, I can play around this if this is what happens, but certain decks you need to include the text for, and best of threes are where you can actually do that because you get the game 2 and 3 to play around them if able.
You also did TCG, Shamu, and you did better than I did. You did better than I did.
I did.
You played a fun deck.
Played a fun and mean deck. And going around with people playing around it, people couldn't really. I played Galarian Weaving Eternatus. I played a very unfun deck. TLDR, I poison you and you can't use your abilities.
Yep.
But I don't know if I said I went 3-3-1. Seth did 3-3-2. Because
he went another round.
He wanted to get championship points.
Mm-hmm.
And then he tied, and it's like, okay, at that point, I can't get him.
You gotta get to, like, top 256 or so.
Yes, because I think you'd have to win the next 2 rounds.
And he was just, like, on that cusp range. You can get there with 3 losses, but once you kind of get to, like, that second tie or that 4th loss, then you're kind of out of getting championship.
Yeah.
I think you can get championship points if you go, like, 5-3-1. Mm-hmm. Which is what he needed, and unfortunately didn't get there.
Yeah. I didn't do bad. My first round was fine. It was like, oh, I can do this. And then I got a tie against Durant. If there was an extra turn, I could have probably gotten it. Because it was a point where I had 3 prizes, and we got time called, so I only get, like, 2 attacks in. Because I was powered up and stuff. It is what it is. I don't know if he slow played or not. It felt for a second, but I don't know. Because my deck isn't a fast deck. Or, well,
yeah,
it's not
that's true.
Like, my thing is, like, time for me didn't really come up often. I get my stuff set up, and I'm kind of just almost draw passing and maybe playing a couple cards per turn. I'm not going turbo like Lugia, playing this, searching for that, drawing this, like, searching for energy, attaching, shuffle. I am like, I'm gonna place this down, I might evolve it, I might do a couple draw things, like a Marnie, or even like a professor or research, so I might do some drawing, but I'm not, like, searching my deck constantly for stuff. Because I won the first one, I thought I tied with the Durant, and then I lost to a Lugia because because I messed up during mid-turn action. I was supposed to take prizes during a mid-turn, I forgot to take them. And then next turn I researched, and then it was caught afterwards at a point, and it's like, well, one of the things I needed was in the prizes. It wasn't like it was just an energy. I'm like, that would have actually changed the game up a bit, because having 1 extra energy attached, because that's what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, it is what it is. And then I got tilted when I fought a deck that was a complete counter to mine that was not even on the radar at all. Being Quick Shooting Inteleon with Hisuian Decidueye. It was a 0 energy deck, and its whole gimmick is to put some damage counters on, and then Decidueye multiplies that. So, like, if I have 4 damage counters on my Pokemon, it does 30 times 4 for 120. Mm-hmm. I'm a dark deck. That Hisuian Decidueye just one-shots everything, including my, like, Eternatus.
Youch.
Fun.
I think the situation, it's not, I think it also tilted Seth a little bit. It was in one of the matches, or may I misremembered? But I know that card is just, like, popping out a surprise.
He got tilted because he was getting just bad hands. He was just like, I think, 2 of the hands, all he had was a cram. Because he played Lost Box. He played just a generic, like a Lost Box variant. I think his main tech was the two Snorlaxes instead. Or Radiant Charizard, 2 Snorlaxes. But yeah, he got, like, bad hands and made a misplay or 2, like, search for a Sableye, did he search for a Sableye? Oh, I think he meant to search for a Comfey, but he just saw the pink border, or the purple border, and thought it was the Comfey, but it was a Sableye, and he put it down.
Oh, no.
After he actually, like, let go of it, and he looked for a second, and it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And that was one of his.
That definitely happens. So Shamu, was there anything that you took away, like, as a big overarching thing? Because this was, like, your first regional, right?
First regional I participated in, yeah, and I went too much on the match report. Honestly, it just felt kind of just like NAIC. I didn't really, it didn't feel any different to me than just, like, it was a bit more of a competitive nature, I guess, because, like, people will try to shark and try to, like, but a lot of people were nice, at least. I only had one kind of issue player, but at the same time, I understand why.
I would definitely say that most of the people I played against were very kind, which was kind of a juxtaposition to when I played the VGC a few years ago. It was much different.
It depends on who you face, too. It's a very RNG thing, because again, like...
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Once you lose a couple games, you're at the point where they're just playing to play. And those are the people that are more fun. They're not the people who are trying to win and trying to, like, do well. I had the unfortunate circumstance of ending 2 people's tournament lives because of my ratio.
That's fair.
No matter what happened there, they couldn't come back from the game. And they were just upset with that. And I get it, but it's like, there's not much that judges could do.
I understand.
People there are still there just to have fun. Some people are serious. And I just think the video game, like, circuit is a lot more serious, I think.
I don't know if serious is the right word. They take themselves more seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, they're also way more TCG players.
Yeah, they're generally, 1,200 in Masters, something like that.
Yeah, there were 1,200 in Masters. When I played the video game, there was just under 200. Even then, like, the TCG counterpart had like 1,000. So just like to give rough numbers on how many people actually show up to these types of things. But it was definitely a lot different in those terms. It was much nicer. There was no video game at this event, so it's really hard to say.
There was a side event for video game, but that was it. There was no actual main.
It didn't see that much participation. It was like 18 or something, right? Like, it was stupid low. Yeah.
I will say we are getting the video game should be at every regional from now on, I believe.
No. San Diego has like a record number of video game players too this year.
That'll be interesting. I might actually watch that. I don't usually watch the video game streams, but I might watch them just to see.
I would love to see just with how chaotic this meta is right now.
Yeah, I think San Diego won stream. I think that one's on the 7th.
Something like that. I think that's next weekend, yeah. All right. Well, Shark, how about you let us know? Because you played Pokemon Go, which is like completely new in this circuit. I would love to know how it goes because this seems like, honestly, the most approachable for anybody to get into because you just need Pokemon Go, and most Pokemon fans play that.
Yeah, exactly. At least you've been playing, hopefully, like, the people who've been playing it on and off for, since its launch should have Pokemon capable be usable, because that's basically what it is, like, oh, let me see what I can make work. You just kind of, so how it works is that it uses the Great League, which is the CP cap is at 1,500. So mostly you're not dealing with like the big threats that you see in most video games. Like the big things in this format are Pokemon like Medicham or Registeel or Noctowl. So very like.
I love that the Pokemon that are good in Go, by the way, are typically Pokemon that aren't good anywhere else.
It is fun.
So basically, you just kind of get a team as close to that mark as possible, and you can probably just run it with that, which is what I did. My team was a Lantern, a Noctowl, a Registeel, a Shiny Altaria, a Galarian Stunfisk, and then a Medicham. That's what I ran, which kind of has like a good kind of balanced in terms of typings and kind of just all decent coverage on everything. Basically, how it's structured is a lot different. TCG and video game are Swiss. This is a double elimination bracket. There was 128 signups, even though there was only like 106, I think was the actual number that participated.
Oh, that's not too bad. That's actually pretty big.
What you do is everyone reports in at the morning, and they basically split you into 4 pods or pools of 32 people. 2 of them will play concurrently, and the other 2 will play like in the afternoon. So it was literally like I felt bad for people in the C and D pools that they like had to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, show up and be like, oh, we're not playing till the afternoon. All right, bye. Yep. That's exactly what happened to Golbat Man.
I know that's what Golbat Man had happened to him.
That did happen. Yep, that did happen to him.
To be fair, he was super chill about it, and they had the side event where he just did a bunch of Pokemon Go stuff, and that was his jam. So
yeah, I mean, I think at least some of that kind of killed time, and at least I got to kind of go and do it first to kind of like let him know, kind of prep him a little bit to what to expect in terms of how to do it. Because how it goes is that there were 16 basically battles that can happen simultaneously. You have to use their phones. They have their own androids and that way there's no advantages, no cheating in terms of hacking your phone or whatever. You're literally having to go on that phone, you log in to your Go account, you hit screen record, so that way if there is any issues, the judges can review the footage, and you either do the scan QR code to battle, or you make new friends, which is what some people did, and then battle them that way. So it's best 2 out of 3. It is open team sheet in terms of what the other Pokemon bring. But since Pokemon Go, you don't lock in a team of 6. You just literally just pick 3 and go. So that's just kind of what ends up happening is you just bring... what 6 they can choose from, and if they bring something that's not right, you can just call them out on it. But that was never an issue for me. But yeah, you just kind of bring 3. And then double elimination. Once the pool... So how it ended up going, Pool A did their first round. Pool B did their first round. And then kind of as tables became available, you just kind of go into like the winners round Pool A, losers round A, and just as it kind of filled up. Just whenever the open table, and it was slow getting started, but once it starts going, it just like, you can have battles back to back to back. Because it's like, okay, I finished. Oh, my opponent was waiting for me? Okay. Kind of that feeling. Or it's like, oh, you kept winning? Okay, all right, keep going, keep going, keep winning, keep going, kind of thing. So, yeah, where you're like literally 50 minutes, go to tie, then like say, oh, hey, I tied, and then go back and play again. That way, it's like, oh, no, is this one like, I was literally,
yeah, right.
I had, so my first round, I think check-in was like 8:30. I finally played around 9:30. I had my first match where I just had a bad lead matchup on that match every time, and I just end up losing 2-1. But it just did not. I never had a good like lead matchup because at that point, I just don't have that advantage anymore with it being just a kind of best of three Pokemon type thing. So, so then I basically had to wait a while before I could get my table. You have to check the challenge. It's through challenge brackets, so you just kind of had to monitor that whenever your table was assigned.
Yeah, I've heard enough issues with certain things like challenge and stuff, so I'm a little wary on that they don't have another.
I'm surprised that they use that for the official tournament. That's because they've developed their own software for like TCG and VGC, where they go ahead and they input the names and then they like get the brackets set up and everything. I'm surprised they haven't come up with their own alternative and they're using, third-party software essentially. It works out okay.
But then, my second match, I had a no-show first match I lost, so then I'm in losers for the rest of the tournament. My second opponent was a no-show, so free win, we take those. I did wait there for a bit. I do have to, you have to basically call a judge if there was a no-show and just, to officially time the 10 minutes of, are they actually a no-show or whatnot? But they no-showed twice, so free win for me. And then I finally got to play my first, actual second match to, 11 o'clock. But then from there, I basically played nonstop, which was nice. The second match was fun. I did end up winning that one. My Noctowl and my was able to be a good kind of defensive check, and then my Registeel was able to hit pretty hard because it just basically has a zero, just a light little lock on to just build up your charge gauge to either fire Zap Cannon or Focus Blast. So ended up doing that. My opponent had a Alolan Sandslash, which was off meta, I thought that was fun. I was like, oh, cool. That's something fun and different. Yeah, you can definitely have a few off things like that. And then my third opponent was someone who was on stream earlier that day. And I'm like, oh, fun.
Well, to be fair, that's like a 1 in 50 chance, right? So
when you've got 100 people, you're more likely to fight against one of the good players.
Someone that's like, oh, that means they're probably pretty good. And I have them as a friend on Go, and they were level 50. And I'm like, okay. And he had Shadow Machamp, I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah.
I don't know what it could do, but I don't like the idea of it.
I know the fear of Machamp.
Honestly, Machamp scared me the entire weekend.
Yeah.
So to summarize, how would you rate the experience, I guess, Shark?
Honestly, I had a lot of fun. It was just fun. There was a lot of camaraderie with just because, you're waiting a while, so you just kind of meet people and whatnot. I ended up meeting a listener. Oh,
yeah, that was Ray, right? Ray? Yeah, he was a nice guy. He was the most excitable person I've ever met.
Oh, yeah. No, he was it was just funny. It just he just casually mentioning I was listening, or I was like, oh, I like your shirt. I listen to the PuCL podcast too. And it's I was listening to the episode, which was the battle focused one with and I was like, yeah, I'm Sharkfinningan. And then the moment I said that, he just like, it was the funniest reaction.
Oh, I don't think I got to meet him.
No, yeah, you missed him. Yeah. Came and he talked to Shark for a minute. He came by and he said bye, and I was sitting there like I was pulling some bulk Pokemon cards out of my binder to go sell. And yeah, I remember I'm just like, oh, this is the guy that you were telling me about that made you sign the card. He's like, yeah, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. And he didn't realize who we were.
He was like, hey, these are the people that were literally on the podcast you were listening to.
Yeah, exactly.
Team him that he built himself. Like, he was like, I don't know if I'm going to do well, but I'm going to at least flex all I can. And he had a full shiny team. That's literally, it was just all shinies, including a shiny Dunsparce.
Awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so on that note then, let's kick it on over to a few other things that I wanted to cover. I mean, this is the second regional I've gone to out of like 7 actual Pokemon events, because I've gone to several NAICs at this point on top of this regional, and then I went to St. Louis a few years ago. This one was honestly the most dreary, only because of the convention center. The convention center makes me feel like I'm working in a warehouse, and I disliked it a lot. Like, even when we went to, when I was in St. Louis, the convention center felt like more like an event space, and this one just kind of felt like I was an empty factory. But that's a very minor point to be really upset about.
The NAIC thing, the convention centers were very nice in a way.
Oh, it's much different at NAIC, but that's a completely different experience.
It is, and I'm honestly like, this is kind of what I expected the regional to be. I didn't expect it to be extravagant as NAIC.
Oh, absolutely. No, it was definitely fine. It's definitely more competitive oriented, right? Because if you go to these regionals, you're going there to compete. NAIC
is an event. You're going there to partake in this international event.
I think it's also somewhat you can compare that to, I don't know, like NAIC, you could go there as a spectator and have a lot of fun. If you come as a spectator to this one, I don't think you're going to have as good of a time. There are side events. It's also not run by TPCI directly. It's run through a third-party company. This one was run by Day 2 Events, which I thought they did a great job. And if you go to any other regionals, they're run by different people. I think it's based on region, but they handle most of the stuff on the East Coast. I think it's essentially like anything east of the Mississippi. It's Day 2 Events plus a little bit over.
Yeah, I think they did Salt Lake City. They're doing Knoxville. That's their next one.
They're doing Knoxville. They did Toronto. I don't think they did Salt Lake. They did Peoria, Toronto. They're doing Knoxville. They did Arlington. I think they're going to do Fort Wayne. I think they also have the Wisconsin one. Like, we've talked about them before for NAIC. At NAIC, you pay $5. It's a little bit more expensive because there's overhead, right? It's a company. They're trying to make a little bit of money. And then you go play like a Swiss round with your friends. If you get 8 people together, you can play TCG, VGC, Go, anything you really want. You get just like a coupon or a ticket for playing. Here, they kind of did that, but there wasn't always a participation ticket, which kind of sucked.
And it was also not Swiss.
It was not Swiss. It was single elimination. So if you got knocked out early,
they did Swiss for pack battle, which was the fun way to go, because you just kind of go, you just go wild. You get a ticket essentially you're pretty much getting a pack at least. At a point too, they were giving pity tickets type of thing, but they didn't always do it. And I think they kind of stopped when they realized people were farming.
To be fair, we literally farmed pods because we just had the 4 people.
Yeah, we were the only ones doing that, to be fair. Because for pack battles, you only needed 4, yeah. I mean, it was a good time. Yeah, that was the format where you just get a pack, you open it, and then...
Mutant Evolution,
which means that, any stage 1 can evolve from a basic, and any stage 1 can evolve into a stage 2, and then it doesn't matter what color energy you need, it's just all energy's energy. And it's just a lot of fun. You build a little 10-card deck, and it's very quick, very fun, and you can see things work that would never work any other time.
We did try, I know a few of us did the little cheese strat of, we pulled a V? Okay, 9 energy in the V Pokemon. Alright, good luck, have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're fat. These are one prize games, so you just need to make one knockout, right?
But yeah, I think that was like the one thing we wish they did Swiss when they didn't.
I agree.
And I get why. They wanted to move stuff. They wanted to progress. They didn't want like a team of like 8 people taking up a table for like an hour. If you have a group of 8, you have like 6 people waiting and because you want to play it together.
Exactly.
And they're just kind of standing there watching. It's just a space of empty time, which is just kind of... It felt a little bad, because we didn't really do much of it. We did, like, 1 or 2 of those.
We did, like, 2, I think, like that, and it just wasn't a lot. I didn't care for the single elimination. I didn't think it felt good, and I don't know. It felt bad because if you're trying to go with friends, which we were, obviously.
If you're just trying to go to an event to have fun and, like, maybe take a shot or whatever, go with someone. Go with a buddy. That way you can go pot up in some side events or something like that. Do some pack battles, whatever. Because that way you can just essentially have fun with your friends and kind of get rewarded for it.
It was all right. I thought the prize wall also was kind of worse than NAIC.
They've had some good stuff in the past.
Yeah.
The cool things were very high up on the prize wall. There were some high-end things, of course. Yeah, you're gonna have some expensive stuff. A bunch of the sitting cuties, a bunch of, like, some older playmats, which were affordable. They had the coins, which the Day 2 events have these, big metal coins that you can get to the side event for that, but you can also get it with the prize tickets. And that's one of the things that you can get too, so you don't have to, like, pay the $30 to do the get a coin event. If you have the 5 reward tickets, you can go. And they had the coolest thing I think they had as a side event prize were the Bat Trio coins for a very cheap price.
Yeah, those were cool. I think the best side event is the one that Shark did, though.
They rotated it out throughout the weekend, it seemed like these, like, what ended up being more like carnival game type event, where you can get, you know, different prizes by just actually more actual physical skill and luck versus, like, playing the games themselves. So the one that I did was, basically like a coin toss. You were given basically like the Troze coins that were basically like a poker chip in terms of like their weight and how they felt in your hand. And you basically had to stand back maybe about 5 foot away from this like target. If you get it into like this center of the target just by tossing it in there, you had a chance to win a plush. And basically how you would do that at that point is that you would get to hold a Spheal plush, which is about maybe the size of a tennis ball, but it's a plush. And you had to toss it into this target. There was a bigger outer circle that if you got it in there, you got to keep that small Spheal plush you tossed. But if you managed to get into the small center one, which is basically the size, like barely bigger than the Spheal itself, you got to get the freaking gigantic Spheal. And of course, the one that you sell, that sells out 2 seconds, $450 or whatever.
They sell them on, like, Pokemon Center occasionally. The Marie, the Pikachu, things like that. That's what the Spheal was, just for other people.
Yeah, that's the big Spheal. First try, I totally like, I kept seeing people, like, overroll the Spheal, so I was like, I'm gonna undershoot it. I just undershot the board. And then I just, like, went and told everyone about it, like, oh, this is cool, and, like, at the worst case, like, it was $6 and you got basically 100 event tickets in that Troze coin. So I'm like, it was decent value there. Yeah, and if you got a coins into the center one, you got extra tickets. So, like, okay, cool. Like, at worst case, it's a 1-to-1 exchange. It's not the worst thing in the world. Cool. And I was like telling everyone, oh, it's cool, whatnot. Second try I do it, I nailed it. If you look on the Facebook page, there you see the giant Spheal, and there's me winning it with the event, like, PR moves, but yeah.
The Spheal was the star.
That Spheal was so great to have, because it was a beacon. It was just like, that's where we are, there's the Spheal, we go to the Spheal.
It was very easy in between rounds to find out where to go. I just remember because Shark was explaining how he was playing the side event before, and then they announced during one of the rounds we were playing that the Spheal had been won. And I was like, oh man, somebody ruined Shark's game.
Someone got it. Okay. The funniest thing is just being Shark that got it.
It turned out just being Shark that ruined his own game. So I'll accept that. But I think that was very fun.
That literally just ended anything I wanted. Like, I was just gonna maybe try to do more side event stuff that Saturday, but like, once I won that, I was just like, okay. I first was freaking elated. I was just like on adrenaline, so excited.
That's a good prize.
Like, this thing is like, it's kind of like a beanbag material in there. It's not like heavy, but like, it's heavier than you think.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
And it's just so big. So just like, it's hard to maneuver around for sure. So basically end up parking.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that's a $450 plush.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah, it's one of the really expensive ones. Yes.
No matter what happened afterwards, I won that weekend.
I didn't realize it was that. Wow, you won the lottery there, because you won that for like $12.
I did.
Shark did the best out of all of us that weekend. That was a side event that you don't get it in AIC, so I thought that was pretty cute.
A lot of the events do have like one little thing they do differently. NAIC, you kind of get the nicer venue, and there might be like a fun side event they do that's kind of different. Like NAIC this year had the raid battle. which we definitely didn't cheat during.
They had them at the regional as well, just nobody did them.
Oh, I didn't see the raid battle as an option.
It was an option. Nobody did them. They did fix the rules, so it probably would have prevented the Sableye cheese.
They had a build-in battle, but for a booster box, and I'm like, I would not.
That was insane. That was insane. I mean, I understand why they did it, because it's mostly competitive players showing up for this, right? And so they're going to buy a booster box anyway. Actually, I think the value you get in terms of the monetary return that you get from side events is much better at TPCI. Because no matter what, you pay $5 and you get a ticket in return. And I would say a ticket is roughly worth about $3.50, $4.
At a TPCI event, you are getting your thing back because you put $5 in, you get a ticket. A ticket's a pack. So every side event you play, you get a pack at least.
Exactly. It's much better. We can just wrap up here, but I thought it was a fun time. I mean, all of these events are always fun. I mean, even if I didn't do that well, I learned a lot in terms of how to do better at another tournament. So I do plan on going, I think, to Fort Wayne, which I believe is the weekend. It's the weekend like that Scarlet and Violet, the new set, drops.
Yeah, because rotation's after.
But it's not legal.
Yeah.
So I believe it's the last tournament in this format. Yeah, rotation occurs 2 weeks after the set comes out. So it's like the last one that like Lugia can be played at, but I don't even know if I'll play Lugia.
Yeah, the last one your deck can be played at until you have to figure out something new.
I don't know if I'll even play Lugia. We'll see.
And I know Seth is going to the Florida one.
Mm-hmm.
I might go too. I want to go. I gotta see if I can get things to like work out.
I mean, it was just a lot of fun, and it's definitely prepped me for the next one.
Let us know if y'all are going, and you can maybe find some other Puckle people there to like hang out with, and just
exactly,
because that was just fun hanging out with Tank and Go Batman for most of that weekend.
Meet up, chill, have fun. Yeah,
it's absolutely why I do these things. It's mostly just to find a way to go around and see people. I really like doing it this way, so it's much smaller groups.
Yeah. We're going here. You want to come and say hi? You can come and say hi.
This is going to be it for the topic. This was fun. It was a good time. I can't wait to do it again. But until then, we're going to kick it on over to Puckle's Poke of the Episode. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll catch you all on the flip-flop.
Poke of the Episode.
Welcome to the Pokemon of the Episode. Our Pokemon of the Episode this week is National Dex number 286, Breloom, the Mushroom Pokemon.
The Violet entry reads, the seeds on its tail are made of toxic spores. It knocks out foes with quick, virtually invisible punches.
Woot woot. Yeah, Breloom is a lot of fun. Oh my gosh. I'm glad it came back in Scarlet and Violet.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's fun. It gets Spore. It's got Mach Punch.
It's a false web spore. It helps people catching their shinies, which are very prevalent in this gen.
It's great.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I did shiny hunting for the first time yesterday, and I didn't realize how easy. Well, so like I tried to I had like a Wingull outbreak, and I tried to do it, but I didn't see a Wingull. But I had made the sandwich, and so I'm like, well, I've got a Vaporeon outbreak. I'll just go over there next. And so like I flew over to the Vaporeon outbreak, and then I just bump into a shiny Azumarill. And I was like, cool, that's nice.
They are just like there, yeah. Like
I was like, that's nice. And then I did the Vaporeon outbreak, nothing again. But
and yeah, there are times too where I've just done an outbreak for just the hell of it. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
okay. I was just kind of doing this to clear out the outbreak. I didn't expect a shiny, but I was like, it's one of those like, I don't expect it, but if I get it, I'll take it. And it's like you get the luck. I'm like, oh, okay, you know.
Yeah.
And then just other times that I just yesterday I was trying to build my, just get some supplies, some TMs so I can be able to get chilling water on one of my Pokemon. And I was like, okay, where's Surskit? All right, let me try to get some Surskit and Masquerain. Oh, that's just a shiny Hoppip. Hello there.
Yeah. It's also the reverse of like, oh yeah, you're actually hunting and then you just don't get anything for like 3 days.
Yep.
Well, Breloom has a good shiny as well.
Oh yeah, it's nice red.
Yeah, Breloom's just a fun Pokemon, and I love that it's back. It actually, I don't think it's been in a Dex. It's original Dex.
It's been a while.
In terms of a regional Dex. I don't think I think it was in Ruby and Sapphire, but it was never in, maybe it was in Diamond and Pearl. No, I don't think it made it into to the Diamond and Pearl Dex, actually. I think it was post-game. Yeah, I'm correct. It did not make it into the Snow Dex. It was all post-game. And yeah, it's only been in the Hoenn Dex and the Paldea Dex. So I'm happy it's back. I mean, same thing happened with Venonat, which also made it in this game. And I'm sad that we haven't seen Venonat or Venomoth come into anything yet. I'm waiting. It will be there soon.
Oh yeah, no, there's gonna be a team with it. It's good.
Oh, in VGC.
No, in VGC. Yeah, I'm just waiting for like the one. Somebody made Frostmoth work. Okay,
So Frostmoth is like, well, hail like snow is good. So
it wasn't even on a snow team. It wasn't on a snow team.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I remember I saw you fight one that was on a snow team. I think at one point.
Yeah. No, if it was on a snow team, that's different. But it wasn't. Yeah, this was just like Frostmoth on its own, and it did well.
It gets Tailwind. It gets. Might get Rage Powder. I don't know if it gets Rage Powder. Actually, might be wrong.
It gets Quiver Dance, and that's what was on this Frostmoth. I'll send you the team later.
Yeah,
it was very weird. It was very weird. But either way, we do have a VGC team with it because I've been playing around. This isn't my team. I forget who I got it from. It was on Victory Road. It was on Victory Road.
The person's team is Leo Peraza.
That's it. That's it. Well, that was the tour. That was the name of the tour. This is the third place team.
The name is Leo's Peraza Tour third place team. So I guess it's Leo.
I forget. It's on Victory Road. You can just go get it. I've been playing around with it just because I'm trying to get my feet wet and see where the meta is. And instead of taking my team building to it, I wanted to see what other people were doing before I went and decided to start doing like theory crafting. And right now, I think a really good way that a lot of VGC teams in this meta are being formed is a lot of people are just kind of taking pairs of Pokemon that work well together and kind of just shoving them together. I think a lot of this happens from the Dondozo Tatsugiri strat because they're a pair that need to always be together to fully function.
Pairs. Three pairs of two that will work with each other, essentially.
Exactly. And that's kind of in what people have done. And that's kind of what this team is as well. But I think the exception is with the first two we're going to talk about, which is Breloom and Mousehold. I think they're kind of in there as tech to help supplement again with the other four that are definitely paired off into two pairs. So Breloom, very good Pokemon, like we said. It does have two very good abilities. One is Poison Heal, which you doesn't see a lot of play because it has Technician. Which takes any move that's base 60 or below, and it gives it a power boost of 1.5. That does work for things like Bullet Seed as well, which is kind of stupid, but it's fun. So we've got a Breloom. It's holding a Focus Sash. It's got Technician. The Terra type is Ghost. 252 special attack, or 252 attack EVs, my apologies. 252 speed EVs. Jolly Nature with Bullet Speed, Mach Punch, Protect, and Spore. It is the fastest Spore user in the game, and if you play, there's a Murkrow on this team that Shamu will talk about here in a little bit, but it gives you Prankster Tailwind, and if your opponent doesn't play any kind of speed strategies, speed controls at all, you can just kind of take it away and just start sporing really fast, which is kind of nuts. This is the great fun Pokemon. I love it. There's also Mousehold on here, which is a newcomer to Pokemon in general. Holding a wide lens because you want to be able to hit things and not miss. It also has Technician. Terra type is normal. 252 attack, 252 speed, Jolly Nature. I love it because it's like an Amoonguss that's useful. Because it's got Follow Me, Encore, and Protect for a lot of support. But for those of you who are unaware, Mousehold has the move Population Bomb, which is a multi-hit move, but can hit up to 10 times. And if you're holding the wide lens, it's a very strong possibility that you will hit that.
The way to word it is like, it's not like Bullet Seed, where it rolls a number. It's more like Triple Axle, where it makes an accuracy check. It keeps making an accuracy check up to 10 until it misses. And that's why you do wide lens, because it makes it a 99% chance. Because it's a 90 accuracy move, so each hit is a 99% chance to hit.
Exactly. And so you can usually hit stab. Yeah, and if you're like really in a spot, you could always Terra normal if you want more damage, but that typically is never required. 10 hits from Population Bomb usually knocks out anything that can be hit by it. There are a lot of ghost types in the meta, which is something I was telling you.
If it doesn't resist it or isn't just very physically defensive, you're probably gonna, like, against another, like, Murkrow, you're probably gonna get rid of it.
Oh, absolutely. I've used it to take out Murkrow. I've used it to take out Hydreigon. Mm-hmm. I've used it to take out a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah,
a good number of them.
It is very strong,
and it's fast.
It's got 108. It's like 118 or 110 base speed. I can pull it up here in a second.
It's very, very fast.
But yeah, no, it's insanely fast. It's not as offensively like damaging, but the fact that it's got the 118 speed is 111. My bad. Sorry. It's got like 75 base attack, but 111 speed is just insane. You're outspeeding most things.
Yep. But yeah, there's some more Pokemon that I'll let you guys talk about now.
I'll take, since you talked about the Murkrow, I'll go over that first. So we got a Murkrow with Eviolite with Prankster. It's just generic Murkrow there. Terra-type Ghost. Max HP, 108 defense, 148 special defense with a calm nature. So you just kind of go and just, again, you're being a Murkrow, you're doing the Murkrow thing of being utility. With Foul Play, Taunt, Tailwind, and Haze. It has a 0 attack IV, but again, it's just anti-Foul Play. But yeah, you're there to taunt, Tailwind, Haze the Tatsu, or Haze the Dondozo, taunt whatever other status users are there, Tailwind for your own team, and then Foul Play whatever else there to punish it.
Haze is nice for more than Dondozo.
Dondozo's the main
it does does punish that. Yeah, that's why it's there.
Yeah. But it's also just be worried about the dark prankster stuff. You can't prankster onto a dark type. Because still a lot of people make that mistake.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about this, I would probably swap out Taunt for either Icy Wind, because Murkrow gets that.
It does, yeah. And having speed control would be really nice, especially with the tail might be enough, but again for other Murkrow.
Well, especially for the mirror, because the other Murkrow will click Tailwind, and then you can get another turn where you click Icy Wind and you probably slow something down, which is really nice.
Maybe a little trauma from that one where you actually were against a Murkrow v Murkrow and didn't have answer.
Oh yeah, I mean that's also true. I wasn't very upset about that match, but it was I would have liked to have something else.
Yeah.
Another move you could throw there as well is Quash.
Quash is cute. You just priority make someone go last, so you can just mess with their speed and just like, cool, that thing's gonna be really fast and I want to get rid of it. Let me just like quash it and then population bomb it and get rid of it.
Exactly.
Or whatever other attack. Just make it act last.
Yep. I really like the idea of doing that with the Murkrow over Taunt. I kind of like that a bit better than Taunt. Because most things that you want to taunt are kind of scared of you prankster hazing anyway.
Yeah.
So they won't do it. The only exception would be something with Trick Room, but to be fair, most of the trouble I have with Trick Room comes from like the Armor Rouge and DD thing that we talked about way earlier today, where that's you never know which one's going to do it anyway, and you're in psychic terrain, so it doesn't even matter. It's not like you can prankster taunt.
Yeah,
exactly.
So it's that's I think the taunt can probably be swapped out. It's pretty utility. But moving on, let's talk about.
We also have got the other guy that's everywhere in every meta is Golden Go. And you got a Life Orb here, good as gold, this ability, which is just, it's immune to status moves. At least status moves that target it, I think. It's not immune to haze, but it's immune to, like, if you were to taunt it, it would not work.
Yes.
Exactly. It's all
if it's something affects the field, it works, but if it's something that's targeting, like Golden Go, it would not work. Terra-type Flying, just to dodge the earthquakes and the ground coverage that everyone's using. And we've got, for Eevee, the 188 HP, 4 defense, 252 special attack, 4 special defense, and 60 speed with a modest nature, 0 attack IV. And we've got Make It Rain, Shadow Ball, Nasty Plot, and Protect. So you're just kind of doing a Nasty Plot setup and just big damage. But one thing to keep in mind if you didn't know, Make It Rain is essentially Leaf Storm that hits both sides. It's Leaf Storm, right?
Yep.
It's a harsh special
ish, but it only drops 1 stage, not 2.
So it's better Leaf Storm that hits both opponents.
A little less power, but yeah, it's the fact that you can hit both is still pretty strong, especially on this, which has a pretty high attack.
Yeah, with the base 133 special attack.
133 special attack, 120 power move. Yes, steel's not the greatest coverage, but I mean, still going to hit a lot of things pretty well.
It'll nuke. Get one nasty plot off. You're nuking 2 things off the planet.
Exactly.
Yes. No, you really are though.
Yeah.
It's really bad. If you can get the one nasty plot off, which if you do play your cards right, you can get the Terra type into flying off and then
get a free nasty plot after that.
Terra flying, nasty plot, tailwind, you're starting to sweep.
Yep.
Yeah. The 60 speed is to outspeed King Gambit, because that's a pretty big threat, counter to Goldingo, so you definitely need to outspeed that.
Yeah, Golden Go has been a lot of fun though. It's fun. I'm not upset by playing with it. It's just, I know it's very frustrating because it's semi-centralizing. But all right, there are 2 more Pokemon, and they are surprisingly not new.
Nope. These are, if you're not going to Terra your Goldingo, these are the two you would more likely Terra first. You start off with Garchomp reigning supreme again, holding Clear Amulet, which will make it immune to all those Intimidates. Ability is Rough Skin because, you know what? You gotta stop that mouse somehow.
It does kill the mouse. It does kill the mouse, though.
188 HP, 156 attack, 4 defense, 20 spadef, 140 speed, adamant nature. The speed lets it outspeed Jolly Baxcalibur, which is still, like, it's not as popular of a dragon in this format, but it's still there, and you do not want to get Icicle Speared to death, so you need to outspeed that at least. Its attacks are Earthquake, Dragon Claw, Sword Stance, and Protect. So, and Terra Ground, so yeah, you Terra this if you want to just start nuking with Earthquakes next to your Terra Flying Goldingo or your Murkrow.
Well, you can't Terra Flying and Terra Ground.
True.
But you could.
Yeah, if you don't Terra...
But Murkrow and Hydreigon are there. So. Yeah,
Hydreigon is the other dragon Pokemon on this team. With Choice Specs, Levitate's ability... its Terra type is Poison, so that way it's another defensive one, so that way it doesn't die to Draining Kiss or whatever fares.
Fairy and
Dazzling Gleam.
Fairy and Fighting.
Yeah.
Thinking.
Yeah, I like this better. A lot of people have been running Steel on Hydreigon, which I totally get because it's mostly for the Fairy coverage.
Yeah,
but I have been liking the Poison a little bit more
as a defensive one. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Hydreigon has a lot of very good Terras, a lot that it could do.
Yeah. That's the one thing I've noticed. I was kind of hoping in this meta that we would see Terra types kind of stabilized to which Pokemon really like which one, but we have not seen that at all.
There's a few that are, like, I would say Garchomp is pretty, like, yeah, that's going to be ground, but...
Yeah.
But others are kind of like flux. I think Goldingo is in flux.
Hydreigon, I've seen 3 different big ones. Like, I've seen Fire, Steel. I haven't seen a lot of Poison. This one's a little bit unique in that regard, but... I still think it's good.
Yeah, Fire is also, again, a Fairy resist, so that's why that one's as popular, and it has Fire natural coverage, so... But this one, with it being Poison, you can really get at those Fairies with Terra Blast. Alternatively, you can go Snarl, you can go Dark Pulse, you can go Draco. With its stupid special attack and Choice Specs, you're nuking something. Or at worst case, just... chipping away everything with big ol' snarls. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I mean, this is a fun team. I think it's like, I wouldn't say it's like baby's first team, but it's a very easy team to get into.
Mm-hmm.
It's not chalk or anything, but it's a very easy team to get into. So if you're like me and you're trying to get into the VGC meta and see where things are at, this is a good entry point, I think. It's been a lot of fun, so I definitely would recommend it. If you're a patron, we'll definitely give out this team as well. So look out for that. But until then, we are going to go ahead and we're going to kick it on over to the mailbag.
It's mail time! Send in your emails! Mail!
Welcome to the mailbag. This is the part of the show where we read your emails if you send them to us at puclpodcast@gmail.com. We typically have a prompt. I don't know what it was because I wasn't on the last show and I forgot to check or remember what it was the last episode, so I apologize in advance. This week, I'm more than happy to ask you guys both about how you're faring in the Cinderace raids, but also if you're interested in going to a regional or not, or an official Pokemon tournament. I would love to hear from that. Or if you have experiences from past Pokemon tournaments, if you've gone to official or not. We've got a few emails this week, but before we get started, I want to introduce you to this show's sponsor. We're, as always, going to give out the Green Tauros badge. Green Tauros is the energy drink that gives you hooves to anybody who does the mailbag thingy and writes a good one. This is the first one for 2023. I definitely messed up that spiel. I was off for a week, and this is what happens, guys.
Hooves.
Yep. But all right, we are going to go ahead. We're going to jump in. We've got 3 good emails this week. This first one is going to be from, I believe, Drew. Hey, Puckle crew. Long-time listener, a first-time mailbagger. Have to say, I love Puckle. All the hosts are Poke experts and brighten my week with knowledge and enthusiasm. Listening to the recent episode on 2 steps forward, 1 step back, I hadn't really come to this realization until post-game, but I wanted to highlight the way all of the new systems actually complete and complement each other holistically and make a new way to play. For example, Picnic to make eggs and a sandwich, then hatching while roving around to raids, and basically creating a very rewarding way to farm money, LP, fresh Pokemon, and items needed to turn the competitive for PvP or raids. While just sort of post-game grinding and exploring is a lot of fun, it really hit me when I thought about how in the usual post-game you just fly to a few spots and forsake most of the map. But with the quality of life changes and the way these new systems feed one another, making new Pokemon, filling the decks, raiding, all becoming part of one fairly dense but still casually paced system, it's pretty awesome that so many things all synergize into an experience that rewards continuing to venture around Paldea. Add in breakouts with shiny hunting and picnic resets, and all of these new approaches to decades-old concepts have coalesced into a very enjoyable game. I'd also like to shout out the games as a service aspect. We've basically had a month of events since launch, with Eevee, Charizard, and Cinderace getting double weekends. Things like Delibird for Christmas and Tyranitar and Salamence for the weekend. Having weekend events is a very nice treat. I personally like to grind a Diablo and Monster game with other players. So having a casual grind that checks so many boxes has really given me an appreciation for what they were planning to do. No doubt a few months of polish would have helped, but nonetheless, for a very ambitious revamp to make this much sense, I have to say I'm optimistic for Pokemon's continued advancement. I'd love to hear your thoughts on interconnected gaming systems. Cheers. I do think the game has been a lot to play with. You're no longer like running around like, in front of so I do really enjoy that. I also like that everything's the wild area, which I think we kind of saw coming with the Isle of Armor and Ground Thunder.
Yeah, there were good test runs, and we were like, we like this.
I remember playing it and being like, if this is new Pokemon, which it is. Right?
And you know what? We're here for it. We're here for it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's definitely way better than what Isle of Armor was.
Oh yeah, no, I really enjoy Scarlet Violet. Like there's just a lot of performance issues. I do have small gripes with some the quality of life. One, this is like such a minor gripe, I guess, in the turn of things, but it's made playing the game a little bit less enjoyable for me, and that is just how they chose which buttons to do what. To open the map is why.
I can get behind that.
I'm okay with it if Legends Arceus hadn't just come out before that and used the minus button to do the same thing. And the minus button opens up the Pokedex now. So it's very frustrating because I'm so used to the button mapping from Legends Arceus that I'll hit the minus button to open up the map. I mean, I feel like it's a very minor thing to do. I also don't like that you have to summon your mount with the plus button either. I think they could have chosen a better button for that.
I didn't have many issues with the button. They did have an issue with like pressing B and it's going to crouch, and I wasn't like just thinking of like a back.
That's true too.
Like I was expecting something different. It's like a little bit, but not that well. I like the Y being because it's easy to access when you're just going like, okay, fly here, boom, Y, boom, go over there. Okay. Like it's just nice there. I do have a few like there are some weird little things that they did that like in the long run have been more annoying to me. Like I'm on my mount, I can't go into a picnic, I have to get off the mount, then go into the picnic again.
That is frustrating.
I had that issue a lot trying to do the like shiny hunting stuff, and I like run around or outbreak or something, and I'm like, I wish I should not.
But yeah, thank you for that email, Drew. Let's move on to our next one. Our next one is going to be from Light
Lab. All right. Hi, PUCL Podcast. I've been listening for only a bit, but I enjoy the show a lot, particularly the trivia section. Okay. On this last episode, I was nearly yelling at Basket and the Fluffiest about Pokemon the PLA trivia question. My two guesses were Geodude and Drifloon. About the question, I agree with what most of you mentioned. I don't like the mechanic of my Pokemon not listening because I can never remember what my level cap is. I also wish there was an audio shiny queue, just in case. However, my biggest gripe is that you can't invade random people's houses anymore. I like talking to everyone in previous games, and I feel that being unable to enter any houses and most shops ruins the immersion. I love the culturally accurate food and beautiful cities, and I think Miraidon eating a sandwich is so cute. I too hated Arven at first sight and cried more than once in the story. I would probably enjoy the TM crafting more if I could use more materials to craft unbreakable TMs, like how TM prices went up from one time to infinite use, but I haven't used it yet. That's some of my thoughts on Scarlet and Violet. Oh, and the non-mandatory trainer thing is absolutely the best. Happy New Year, Light Lab 24.
I think they have to put in the badge thing, the badge requirement for levels, especially in the open world setting.
Like, they need to have a requirement for that. So, like, I went and caught a level of, like, 30-something Zatotl, like, very early on.
They just need to do it. It just needs to happen.
It's one of those necessary evils.
Long term, if they did this, what I would do next time would have been to make it where all the gym badges affect it. And it just, something like that, where it's like, oh, you've got 3 gym badges. Now you can use up to level 30.
I think they should have included more than just the badges.
Instead of just the official gym badge versus the Titan badge and whatnot.
I agree with that.
But the way that I think a lot of people are just going to say to fix it is just level scaling.
I think it was fine. All right. Well, thank you for that email there, Light Lab. We are, of course, going to move on to our last email today. Our last email is going to be from Zay Paladin.
Hello, everyone. Hope y'all are doing well and had a great holiday season. I wanted to write in today to highlight a few of the new elements in Scarlet and Violet that I thoroughly appreciated and briefly mention a few things that could be added in the future. The first thing I wanted to praise is the ease of access for bottle caps and mints. As a player who enjoys team building and competitive battles, this makes training up new Pokemon much less of a grind than before. Being able to use regular currency as well as the LP to purchase these items just feels so nice. The level 50 requirement for bottle caps is also very nice, as it takes a lot less EXP candy/training than to hit level 100. This essentially means that any Pokemon caught in a 5-star raid or above can be bottle capped immediately. My only question with this is, has anyone gotten gold bottle caps yet? The IV trainer has that as an option, but I've yet to encounter any in raids, the market, or as an overworld sparkle/Pokeball.
You've definitely gotten them, Shamu, right? Yeah.
You can get them in the 8th tournament. They can spawn in the market.
They are stupid expensive in that market. I had 3 go up to 800,000. If I remember right.
Yeah, no. Any of, like, the super rare stuff is going to start in the, like, 100,000s, and it's going to stay in the 100,000s, if not reach the millions.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that's in one of our general chats. I'll have to pull up exactly how much. But I was like, I put that note, I wrote it down because I was like, this is something to gauge so that way people know what to prep for. All right, like, do they need to sell their wives and children basically in this game to be able to buy gold bottle caps or beast ball or whatever in that market?
Let me see if I can pull the Cinderace thing real quick too while I'm at it, because that's an easy one I can get to. It's not in the raids.
Not
at
yet,
least not
at
currently.
Least.
Not currently, at least.
It's something to watch. Definitely when they do, be ready to hop in those, because yeah, that'll be something I think people will try to grind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, another part of SV I wanted to play is the sandwich method of shiny hunting. The main reason I like this is I appreciate be giving options. Since I never was fond of the chain encounter method in prior titles, I really like this as a way to have a legit shiny hunt. You look at where the Pokemon you want lives, make a specific sandwich for it, and at minimum, encounter the one shiny. It's much less tedious than trying to breed one, since you can do this seamlessly. That's how I was able to get 3 of the best shinies in the game. Toadscruel.
That's true.
I need to get one of those still.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Lastly, I want to mention the abundance of berries, since that seem to be available in the game. All of the berries, in particular the friendship berries, seem to be much more widely available than before. Not sure if this is due to lack of certain elements, like Eevee resetting character in Isle of Armor, or a design idea to reduce scarcity. The only quality of life element I have, or I hope could be improved in the future, is that there is either a way to purchase ability patches in the shop, or that ability capsules can be turned into a hidden ability, or can turn a hidden ability one into a regular one. I would honestly prefer the latter, as it's fairly common occurrence where I want the basic ability of a Pokemon, but can't change it since they have their hidden ability from a Terra raid. Why this is a thing is beyond me, but honestly, if that's my biggest complaint, I'll take it. That's all I got for now. Take care.
I think that's something we'll probably see in the DLC.
These things that are, like, currently grinds and really pains to get, they're going to fix this in the DLC. That's what they did with Sword and Shield each time. They went like, okay, here's Isle of Armor, here's some tutors, and here's some other stuff, and here's, like, cool, have fun. Here's, like, the digging pod, and there's a bunch of other stuff. Cool, have fun. And then Isle of Armor, and then, Tundra's like, cool, here's ability patches. Here's this and this and that. And then we see also now in, like, Scarlet and Violet, like, yeah, those bottle caps and those and those, not ability patches, but,
ability capsules.
Mints that were, like, really pains to get. Yeah, it's a 20k.
Yep.
It's cheap. Yeah, you have them.
Yeah, exactly. I hope that makes it easy. And I would like to be able to change the hidden abilities to regular ones one day whenever they figure out how they want to implement that.
That's ability patches, but yeah.
They do it the reverse? I don't think they do the reverse.
It goes both ways now?
Yep, they go both ways. I turned my speed boost to Spellthrower into Opportunist just yesterday.
Huh. I need to double check that myself, because I legit...
But yeah, no, ability patches work both ways now.
That's nice.
Well then, Z, hey, your complaint is fixed. Congrats.
I assumed it would do that at some point anyway, because I'm pretty sure, and we'll get a confirmation when home compatibility comes, but I think they're going to get rid of, they're going to force a moveset reset when you come to Scarlet and Violet, unlike in Sword and Shield, which I think is the proper way to do it, because that was the whole issue with the ability patch to begin with. The reason they didn't do it is because of Machamp, stuff like Machamp.
Yeah, because with No Guard Fissure is a thing.
Yeah, they didn't want No Guard Fissure to become a thing, because that would just go into VGC and become stupid rampant. You just run Follow Me and Machamp, and then you're good.
Yeah, Follow Me or Wide Guard. You just kind of pick and choose whatever's on the other side. Just take a guess and hope for the best.
Exactly, and that's exactly what they would do with Wide Guard or with Fissure No Guard Machamp. So they'll probably fix it. I mean, Machamp's not even in Scarlet and Violet, but they should still fix it. All right. Well, that was a good email. Anybody have any choices on who gets the first Green Tauros badge of 2023?
I don't have any, yay or nay.
We'll go with Zay Paladin. I like Zay Paladin's email today.
Sure.
All right.
I thought it was very good.
That works.
So Zay Paladin, you get the Green Tauros badge. And if you want it next week, if you missed it, just send another email. Let us know one of the 3 things I said at the beginning, or just send us an email and say hi. I really like hearing from you guys at puclpodcast@gmail.com. Of course, if you want to keep up with Puckle, best way to do so is to go to our Discord at pucklediscord.com. You can, of course, find the link in the show notes and everywhere else Puckle is sold. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And then, of course, you can go ahead and follow us over at Twitch and YouTube at youtube.com/pucklepodcast and twitch.tv/thepucklepodcast, where we hang out and we play Pokemon. Though I think we're probably going to end up just moving to YouTube eventually. Probably in the next month for sure. We, of course, also have our Patreon at patreon.com/pucklepodcast, where you can get Shiny Pokemon exclusive Game Corner podcast over there. If you liked our trivia segment, make sure you go over and listen to Game Corner. You can, of course, also Shiny Pokemon, like I just said. And yeah, we appreciate the support. You don't have to do it. The show's always going to be free for you guys otherwise. But I have been Trainer Thatch.
I've been Shamu.
And I've been Sharkfinningan.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.
It's closing time in Lavender Town. Time to say our goodbyes. It's closing time. Farewell, my friends. I'll catch you on the flip side.